we're not only going to be grateful, and we're not only going to ask our kids to be grateful, but we're going to really shine gratefulness into our community. We've always been grateful, but as retirement transform, as we build our business, we tend to go deeper and deeper. Maybe because we're older, and maybe because instead of work, we have more time, and we have more time to appreciate things. I'm sure you have as many fond memories of Thanksgiving as I do. Mine begin with memories at my grandparents' house, getting all dressed up, showing up. My mom was always a little nervous. My dad's parents weren't super nice, to be honest.
Okay.
But then at my mom's house, where I began to pitch in and help. And then, of course, as a parent myself with 3 young children.
And I have similar memories. Well, not similar memories. They're actually not similar at all. But every Thanksgiving, Tuesday or Wednesday, we would get in the car, in the station wagon, and drive 6 hours to Binghamton, New York, where my mom was from.
In the snow?
Well, it depends. But
Okay.
yes, if it was going to snow, because I was going to say, is my dad moaning the whole way, I hope it's not going to snow.
Thanksgiving does that, though,
But if
to
he
some
got
people.
he got a report snow was going to happen on Wednesday, we left on Monday.
Oh, wow.
But in the back seat, there was my sister, my brother, and I fighting the whole way. But we got to stop at the Roscoe Diner for lunch.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. You know, many customs carry through many generations, and much of it at Thanksgiving revolves around the
does.
food. When Mark and I got married 12 years ago, we began to blend customs.
Kept food in the game, though.
But we had to blend different types of food. And anybody that's tried to ever blend family and family traditions, it gets a little rough around the edges.
All right, now that you brought it up, I like the turkey stuffed, and you don't let us stuff it.
And we just made a list for turkey for Thanksgiving, and you threw ham on the list. Like, who has ham for Thanksgiving?
We have a lot of people. But we did have to blend
But
traditions.
you're right. I didn't like stuffed turkey. I don't
So
like
we
that
don't have stuffed
stuffing
turkey anymore.
in the food cavity.
Right.
Ugh.
But we're changing the way we're starting to think a little bit. I
We
mean,
are.
food is still an important part of it because there's a meal.
Right, but our thinking really is around family and our relationships and making that extra effort to get everyone together.
You know, our kids live all over the country. So it takes a huge effort for everyone to travel. And it's a hard time to travel, right? Everyone's got to fly to come see us. But we want them with us, so we're doing some things to make sure they show up.
Yeah, and as you guys know, we've recently moved to Florida, and our 5 kids live in 5 other states.
5 kids?
Oh, 6 kids.
Yeah, who I want to know
Nobody
right
lives
now.
in. Oh no, Christopher lives in Florida.
Okay.
That's what it is. So our 5 of our kids.
So Christopher, you almost were not part of the family.
That's not true. It's just he lives in Florida where
right.
we live. Wow, I even questioned that. How is that? But anyway, we want to talk to you today about some changes that we're making as we move through this retirement transformed and still enjoy the effort of bringing our family together.
So the first change, which isn't really a change, but we pay for them to travel. We just
Regardless
want that,
of their age or how much they're making or where
or
they
if
are.
one costs more than the other, we want that worry off the table.
Right.
So they're coming to see us. We want to make it easy for them. And the other thing, and this was your idea,
Well,
because our house isn't large enough in Florida to
Right.
host 6 kids and their plus ones.
And there aren't many houses that you would choose to live in on a daily basis to host 6 kids plus all their plus ones.
Right.
So with the advent of Airbnb, we rented a couple Airbnbs close by. And you know, this does a couple things for adult children, right? It gives them some privacy, a place for them to be with their spouse, significant others, and share times with their siblings without us around.
And the houses are close by. One
They
is a 7-minute walk,
Yep.
and one is a 2-minute walk.
Right.
So,
right.
yeah.
But you know, our home will be the hub. That's where the kids can come. They can enjoy meals together. We can kind of use that as our like point and shoot place.
And we have Luca in our house, our grandson. So
Right.
we're excited about that.
And he'll be a
whole
big
week.
draw
Yeah, we
for
have
the
a pool
other
there
kids.
and the boat, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Right. The second change is we now share the workload. And by that I mean the meal and the shopping and all of the workload
The
of
chores,
Thanksgiving
everything.
with them. We used to try to do everything ourselves. And when people would ask to help, we would say, no, we got it.
And we did that for the longest time.
We did.
And even as the kids grew up, this is a change for us, I would say, in the last year and a half, since we got in retirement. It's just so much work to cook for, we have 18 people this year. For us to undertake that
Right.
would be insane.
And we found that people and our kids, right in that group, they like to help. But because we like things a certain way, I'll be honest, we're pretty specific about what we want them to do and how we want them to do it.
So we made it easy for them. We've got great lists. We have the schedule of meals and what each house has to prep and bring. We agree to do the shopping or at least pay for all the food, but they have to help cook.
And they have to help clean up.
They have to help clean up.
Which is great.
Right.
The third change we made is we really want to create memories beyond the food.
Right.
When Mark and I reflect back on our Thanksgiving, it was about the food as we were growing up and in our early years, but it really became more about the memories. This year, we have 18 people at our home.
Yeah. 6 kids and their significant others.
That's 12.
Luca, our grandson.
13.
Somebody's ex-wife.
Yours.
Mine.
Which is great.
Which is great. She lives half an hour away. And then we invited 2 parents of Christopher's fiance.
Right.
So, is that 18?
I think that's 18, including us.
And we would probably take more if we knew.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a long time since we've all been together, and we want to make it so extra special, and I certainly want to capture it on film. So we've got them there for a week, and we have some new traditions that we're going to start.
So we've typically spent our Thanksgivings in New England when it's cold, but now we get to have beach days. We're actually going to barbecue on the beach one day and at some of the kids' homes.
I've arranged a sunset cruise, which ends in a dinner out on a dock, which will be great. I've also scheduled a few dinners out, so we weren't bearing the load of cooking for 18 people for an entire 7 days.
We have game night. Kids
It's fun.
love to play games. What is the game that they love the best?
Code word.
Code word.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be so much
Yeah.
fun with all those people.
Yeah.
We're going to play golf. Some of the guys want to play golf. The ladies have a spa day.
We do?
I think so.
Is that a surprise?
Nope.
Huh. I didn't know
Tubing,
about
tubing
that.
on the boat, picnics on the boat. So it's a week for us. It's
And we've got a full agenda.
Thanksgiving, a day and a half. If you stay over, maybe 3. This is a whole week in warm weather, so we're excited.
Yep. The fourth change, which really isn't a change, but we've gone deeper, is that we're not only going to be grateful, and we're not only going to ask our kids to be grateful, but we're going to really shine gratefulness into our community. We've always been grateful, but as retirement transform, as we build our business, we tend to go deeper and deeper. Maybe because we're older, and maybe because instead of work, we have more time, and we have more time to appreciate things.
I think that's got a lot to do with it. We're really use that word a lot in our discussions and our journaling. I always begin every day's journaling with 3 things I'm grateful for. And you're always the first one, which is grateful. I'm grateful for you in so many ways. And it really does help bulletproof our relationship. But we want to make sure the kids live that kind of life too. So one of the things that we started doing a couple years ago, it might even have been Jordan's idea, I can't remember. But at some point during the meal, we ask everyone to go around and say one thing that they're grateful for about the person to their left.
Right.
And we go all the way around, so that this year is going to go 18 times.
With no repeats.
And then what do we do?
And then we flip it and we have the same thing happen with the person on your right.
Right. So it's 36 gratitudes that are expressed and shared about our family on Thanksgiving.
It's really been a fun tradition.
Yeah,
It's
it is
one we're
fun.
going to continue and go deep. It'll be fun to see what Luca says at 3 years old.
So what's the 5th change?
The 5th change is to be generous. Now that we are done building our wealth, it's definitely time for us to give back. And you guys hear us talk about wisdom sharing and giving back a lot. And we want to model that for our children and grandchildren and certainly provide that to our community.
My parents always had this saying, you need to work hard, play hard, and more importantly, always help others who might be less fortunate. And that's a creed that I've always had, that my parents taught me, and we now share that. And we want that to carry on for generations with our kids as well. And you know, if I had my druthers, I would have all 18 of us go to a food pantry or something and hand out a meal. It's just hard to do, but that's something
it's a
that
good goal, though.
It is a good goal.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
And you and I can actually do that at Christmas because in this time of life, it may be feast or famine in terms of the family you can get to come. And we have the feast at Thanksgiving with 18, and we just have you
We're
and I
alone.
at Christmas.
Absolutely alone.
Yeah.
Don't feel sorry for us, but we are alone.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I want to remind you, we're actually doing a family philanthropy video on YouTube that's going to come out Christmas week. And it's going to talk about how we bring our kids into our financial giving to organizations. It's going to be a great episode.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that in December.
Yeah.
You know, we are so blessed in so many ways. Having our entire family in our new home for a week is such a treat.
And we hope we can make it an annual tradition. You know, as our family grows, invite more people, more in-laws, more friends, as the kids get married and hopefully have more grandchildren.
You know, we want to wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving and hope you took some new ideas away from this that you can bring into your home.
And don't forget, if you enjoyed this, please share it with your friends. And also please subscribe by clicking the subscribe button.
And finally, join our free Facebook community. The link is in the notes below. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to seeing you again.